Hey, so I noticed that the roaring video did pretty good, so I'm probably gonna decide to do a reviews video. I did them in the past, but they kind of suck, so we're gonna try this again, and it's gonna be better than last time. You have to trust me on this one, folks. Today's game is Undertale Stupid Corridor, and you may have heard about this game before. Actually, you probably didn't. This game has a really low play count. Why am I even doing this? Game is a very low play count. But this is nonetheless, it's still a good chance for me to talk about this game because I do think it is certainly interesting, and it is a game that's out there, and, you know, I can probably, you know, tell you about the game that exists, and you can play. First thing to know is that Until Stupid Corridor is definitely a joke game, okay? That's why I'm not gonna be going like, oh god, this game sucks, it's garbage, it's one of the worst things I've ever played. It's a pretty obvious. I mean, it's called Until Stupid Corridor, and this is why I think it's okay, because it's clear that it's kind of a joke, right? It's just kind of a, it's literally called Until Stupid. Like, come on, guys. It doesn't take a brainiac to realize this one. No, but nonetheless, it's still a game that's public and out there, and it's still a game that's trying to be a game for fun and enjoyment. And as a game like that, I'm still allowed to give it, you know, critiques and reviews and just be able to talk about it. So I'm going to do that here. So this game uses the ELC kit, which is essentially a starter kit that you can use to build your own ELC type games. Apparently it's been fully recoded, which is pretty interesting and nice. And if you did that, that's really nice actually. Nice job on that one. Yeah, nice. Now, is this game fun? Nah, not really. This is one of the games you go inside of there with your friends to go goof off for a while, or you're just in there to grind a bunch of wins for your favorite Sans character. This game uses Sans vs. Car format, which is essentially an ASIM game of types, but it's not usually an ASIM or it's not those types. The teams are fighting against each other. The one team is one person, it's the Juggernaut, person with power, and then the other players are people with the weapons, and they have to use their abilities to stop the Sans people, guys, Papyrus sometimes too, and maybe even Kara for counting it sometimes. First thing I want to mention is that these upgrade names are funny as hell. I think they're genuinely some of the funniest things I've heard. You're gonna see me slide past a couple of them, but they're really funny. I think you should keep them. The only problem is that none of the upgrades tell you what they do. Well, actually, some of them do, but the ones that don't, you just have to kind of look at the name and kind of just guess what it does. I recommend adding like a description thing to view it so I can know like what I'm getting or what's being added to the character specifically before I equip the upgrade. Because like, what if the next upgrade is something really garbage that I'm grinding a lot for, and then I get it, and then I realize it's not that good, and I want to grind a different character instead. And I feel like it's not that hard to add like a bit of text that just tells you the details of that. The funny thing about this game is that they did a smart thing and they made the starter characters a lot more fun to play and use rather than going straight to the overpowered characters and making them fun and then making the easier or like the beginner characters completely horrible to play with. But the beginner character is actually more fun than the more overpowered characters actually. It's more of the opposite here. First character you get is Passive Sans. Admittedly, they're kind of fun, and they're balanced too. He has learning potential, and you can definitely kill some enemies still. Like, it's definitely still possible. It's pretty balanced. Are the moves fun to use? No, not really. They're just kind of like a good damage-dealing moveset. It's balanced, but it's not exactly fun to use. It definitely still needs a lot of polishing. But it's a balanced moveset nonetheless, which I'm really surprised for an Undertale Roblox game. The other characters you have, like Littletail Sans and Littletail Papyrus, actually, let's just start with Littletail Papyrus. He's probably one of the better characters right now, and I say that purely because he's stupid as hell, but also really, really funny. Like, you can just summon a giant car and just ram people with it. Is it busted? Well, kind of. If you just touch it for too long, you just essentially die. And if you don't touch it, then you just survive. That's it. You just ram people over with your giant toy car made of bones. It's funny. It's funny, okay? With that being said, I do think Littletail Sans and then probably beyond is where the characters start losing a little bit of touch, and I don't really like them all that much. It's kind of hard to state, but they start getting more blander, and it's pretty more obvious that they aren't as well touched up as the beginner characters, unfortunately. When I say touched up, I mean as in terms of polishing and general weapon and attack designs. You start to see a lot of repeated attacks or weapons that you see in normal ELC, or just attacks that are genuinely less fun and less creative than the ones from the underpowered characters or the more beginner characters, is what I've noticed. Oh, I forgot to mention, this kind of ties in the card team, so whatever, but there are game passes. Okay, I wonder if you're watching this game, here's number one thing. Also future Untitled Roblox game. Don't add game passes when you're like in the beginning stages of developing your games. Like, just don't. It's not worth it unless you really know how to develop a character that's worth your game pass. Like, I get it. This is like, it's really cheap Robux stuff, and that's what I'm glad about this game. At least the game passes are really cheap for the Robux price, but at that point, just don't add the game pass. Like, I'm just not really understanding the logic behind it. Just make it a wins character. There's a lot of car morphs in this game. I did not get to that part, unfortunately, of the game where I used them a ton, but they're there. They have their upgrades. They have their attacks and designs. I just didn't really find them too appealing to use. So forgive me for that. I'm not going to really judge the car morphs that much. But the weapons I will get into. The weapons I do want to get into. The souls are okay. They're nothing that stand out too much, but they're there. They're alright. Weapons, on the other hand, they definitely did try with the weapons. Did they succeed? Not really. Once again, they're kind of lame abilities. I don't really like them a lot. Hey, so the original weapons section that was supposed to be here where I talked about them is kind of bad, and I kind of switched topics like a lot to a bunch of unnecessary things. So I'm going to be recording this again. This is a different mic I'm using, by the way, in case you're wondering why I sound different. I believe all these weapon abilities are really bland, and they kind of do the bare minimum of what a weapon ability should be. For instance, Spear is nothing cool like you'd think with Undyne Spear from Undertale. You're not able to create spear zones. You can't throw spears at anybody. You can't, you know, do any cool spear effect ability. Anything you're imagining right now that has to do with the spear from Undertale, it's barely resembling the one from here. The one in this game is just a lame multi-hit weapon where you just dash in and hit them, and then you just use your multi-hit shredder tool and you shred their HP, I guess. And it's not a bad weapon, it's actually one of the better weapons of the game, but in terms of polishing and also just the looks and uniqueness of it, no, absolutely not. This weapon is not a good weapon. I don't like how it looks. I don't like how it looks, I don't like how it plays. I want my Undertale game to be whatever I want. Yeah, but low-key, Spear's abilities are really lame. I don't feel them. Kind of Span sounds cool, because you're able to switch between different ingredients, and then you can use them in gameplay, but I don't really know what it does specifically for each one, because there's just no information on it at all for some reason. I'd like to know, but the game doesn't tell me anything except the very bare minimum of what the pan does. It's cool in concept, but all these abilities are just really unoptimized, and they don't really flow well with the gameplay at all. There's like 2 that are very useful, and then the others you just don't use at all. Other weapons are there too, but I'm gonna cut this segment short, because like low-key I don't want this video to be running too long, and you know, all the weapons are kind of just the same kind of blamed material. I saw Duskleaf swords, those look interesting, however, they require keys, which I'll get into in the next segment. Anyways, this is Future Edward, I'm out, that's it. I just want to talk about the weapons, that's all. Alright guys, I think that wraps up. Oh wait, no, I forgot to talk about one part, the single player. Now actually, arguably, single player is actually the best part of this game actually, because they changed it quite a bit, and actually I think the changes are pretty good actually. I really like the keys mechanic. The keys are basically stuff that you can get from single player by defeating the bosses, and you get these keys that you're able to unlock weapons from. My one problem with it is that it is quite tedious and grindy, which is expected from single player mode, but the bosses are not particularly fun because they have the same broken hitboxes that the base DLC had for most of the attacks. The attacks are kind of like there's just a short amount of them, you know? So they're kind of being repeated like a lot, and even way too much at some circumstances. So obviously it needs some work, but I can see there's effort put behind the single player mode. I can see what they're doing with the keys thing. They're trying to go for like a UGD car update type thing, where you can purchase weapons and stuff, or you can be able to unlock weapons and stuff from a single player and get them in multiplayer mode. I think there needs to be more stuff behind that, because there's not really much of a motivator to get, like, to grind keys for the stuff. Maybe Duskleaf Sword, yeah, I could grind keys for that. But it's like it's so many keys to do that, and I don't want to go through all the effort of fighting the same boss over and over again to just try to get the keys for that. I wanted to get Fist, but honestly, Fist doesn't even seem that cool. You want to know why? Because I don't know what it does. There's no description for this at all. I don't know if this is worth it to get or not, or if I just leave this all. I see what they're trying to do with the single player, and I must say, you're doing pretty good on that part. I can see that you're improving on that part, and you have some unique ideas held in there, especially with this vending machine. I didn't even talk about this vending machine. You can spend, like, wins or keys or whatever to get to this, to get different items from this vending machine. My only problem is that, once again, it's lacking information on what each of these things do, so you're kind of just hoping that whatever the one that you get heals a nice amount of HP, or they give a nice little buff to you. You don't get any specifics on that, which is a bit frustrating to me. Overall though, this game, if you're looking for just a really dumb Undertale game to, you know, turn your mind off and just play and grind, yeah, this game's right there for you, man. Like, you can try this out. In fact, I urge you guys to try to support these guys. Now, one thing I will say, I don't know why I'm shoving this in at the end. One thing I will say, there are some, I do get some hints that they may be using AI in this. Alright, final review of this game. What do I mainly think? Yeah, it's stupid, and that's fine. That's perfectly okay. It's a joke game. Reminder, it's just a joke. It's a dumb, stupid Untitled Roblox game, but isn't that like most Untitled Roblox games? Well, actually, no. There's quite a bit of them that take themselves pretty seriously, but there's still quite a bit that also doesn't, you know, take itself seriously. It's a complete joke game. And this one, I'd say it's worth a shot to try it out, actually. It's not, like, horrible, you know? You might even enjoy yourself. Me, personally, I definitely stopped at a certain point. It definitely just kind of got a little tedious for me, but the beginning grind is fun. I find the beginning characters fun, and so I urge you, the viewer of this video, instead of just taking everything I say and just going, he's completely right about that, or he's completely wrong about that. Instead, go into the game, make your own completely original opinion, and just do that yourself, you know? I think it is a perfect kind of 5 out of 10 for a game. It's very mediocre. It's trying to develop and do its own thing. And so I urge you to create your own opinions, you know, respectfully voice how you feel about the game yourself, and, you know, go at it from there. With that being said, guys, like and subscribe for... Why did I do that? Reminder, we have a game jam going on in the Discord server. Below my Discord server, there's a game jam going on. You just join up if you want to make a game. Join it's in the announcement channel. Yeah, okay, bye, see you.